Hello, everybody. Captain Marty here, and the wind continues to blow on the Outer Banks. It's Wednesday, October the 15th. When will we get back to normal fishing? We do have a couple things to talk about, especially about red drum. I'll be back to do that in just a moment.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Edward Lee here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot headboat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. And it ain't just about fishing. Keep your eyes peeled for dolphins, turtles, and all that beautiful Outer Banks scenery. Miss Oregon Inlet 2 is available for private charters, including bachelor and bachelorette parties, corporate retreats, and family reunions. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
So we will probably not be surprising anybody by letting you know that nothing happened in the ocean as far as boat fishing inshore or offshore. And we have no idea what's going to be the deal when we get back out there. Of course, the Gulf Stream is a giant conveyor belt, comes close to the mid-Atlantic coast right here off Hatteras, as close as it does anywhere other than South Florida. And it is just never know. You could say, well, all the fish will be off Newfoundland by now, but there'll be a whole fresh batch coming from somewhere else. And this time of year, a lot of the tuna will come in from the eastern. So we'll just have to wait and see. And the sea is the problem because it's big. There's a big swell. Inlets are going to have channels are going to be changed and moved around. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So I won't use up airtime to talk to you a whole lot about all that. Closer to the beach, on the beach and on the piers, there is a little bit of a drum bite going on. On some days, it can be for the really, really hardcore drum fishermen. But Jeanette's Pier had a few yesterday, and other piers are, it's not Katie bar the door, but there is a good drum bite. When they can find conditions. The drum like it rough. They like it stirred up. We know that. But there's a limit to that. And also, there's a limit to how much people are willing to tolerate to catch fish. When you throw in some rain and some 30-knot winds, and it gets pretty bad. Now, this wind has been mostly a northwester, not a northeaster. And that is different because the sea along the beach is not going to be quite as built up as it was. But then it comes around out of the north and the northeast a little bit as this low pressure spins. And, you know, it's plenty rough. But the drum bite, they are able to catch a few big drum, and that's exactly what they're doing. That includes down in Cape Point. But you got to remember, down on Hatteras Island, you can barely get around down there at times, the way the ocean overwash is and how rough and bad the beach is. And there again, you need to check in with your local tackle shops, and we've got some good ones on Hatteras Island. You need to check in with them, see what is safe to do and what makes good sense before you go out and do that. If that doesn't work, consider going back on the sound side and putting the wind at your back or the sea at your back anyway, and getting over there and doing a little bit of fishing. More about that in the backcountry report. But that is all I have for you on the ocean side right now. There has been bluefish around, and there has been the drum. And that is really about the only game in town right now. So we'll take a little break, and I'll be right back to talk to you about the backcountry.
Hi, I'm Captain Jay Cudworth of the Kokomo with Paradise Dolphin Cruises at Safe Harbor Marina in Wanchese. I want to invite you to take a ride out on the Roanoke Sound to see the majestic bottlenose dolphins up close. As a native, I'll be telling you stories from these waters as a boy growing up in Wanchese. Nature and history have combined to make this area unique, and I love sharing this special place with special people. So come on aboard with me and my crew and experience the real beauty of the Outer Banks. For more information, go online to ParadiseDolphinCruises.com SafeHarborMarineandWanchie.com. Again, this is Captain Jay. I look forward to seeing you soon.
So the backcountry bite, we had a really good speckled trout bite going on. We still have the big drum in the sound, but that bite has slowed down a little bit. And also with 30 and 40 knot winds, people are like, no thanks. But it's died out a little bit now, so we'll see what happens. And we got a big cool down coming. And that's important, especially with the opening of deer season coming up on Saturday, the regular gun season, which will run all the way through January the 1st. And I saw some temperatures upper 40s at night and even upper 50s in the daytime, like on Friday. That's going to get people's ears perked up a little bit. But the drum bite is still there. And this is the time of year when they catch drum out in the Pamlico. A lot of that activity. Well, one of the good things is they were right before the blow. They were all the way around the sound. They're on the backside of Hatteras, and they were on the southeast side of Engelhard, Swan Quarter, Bellhaven, out in the sound there. They're catching them down at the, I guess you would call it the mouth of the Neuse River, where the Pamlico Sound at its lower end, where it filters off into the Neuse. And, of course, we've already talked about the ones that are in there. There's a lot of big drum around. So we're going to see that bite continue for a while. Fall is Ricky Radcliffe over at Radcliffe Marine. This is his time, buddy. He loves to speckled trout fish, and he'll be doing exactly that. And we've got some other stuff going on, too. We do know that the bluefish are in the sound. The backcountry guys at Hatteras been doing really well on puppy drum, speckled trout, sheephead, and bluefish. Rick Scarborough and the crew down there at Teachers Lair Marina fishing every day when the weather permits, and they're actually doing a little bit of overflow fishing with these offshore charters that come a long way and can't get offshore, and they'd rather go out and do the backcountry fishing, which is great fun, than to go home with nothing. So that's a great alternative to think about, and that's pretty much all we have in our fishing report for today. Again, be careful. Make sure that if you do go out with weather the way it is right now, that you follow a float plan. And that applies to you deer hunters too. We talked about it a little bit the other day. If you're going to go hunting by yourself, somebody needs to know where you're at when you expect to be back. If you were to fall like I did last year and hit your head on a tree, and nobody knows exactly where you're at, it could be not good. So keep that in mind. There's lots of ways of doing that, but make sure if you're going to do a float plan, whether by sea or by land, make sure you follow up when your hunt is over so that a rescue squad ain't looking for you somewhere while you're sitting at the bar having a cold beer. Anyway, keep all that in mind. Have a great day, and may the good Lord bless you.